Okay, let's talk about Hideo Kojima. Because Evan, you did mention that in a Discord question about the possibility of that, especially what we heard with Sony. It does sound like the whole thing with Death Stranding and Sony and Kojima wasn't the greatest ending, I guess, for all of that between Sony and. I mean, I don't think they were fighting or anything over it, but I feel like Sony was confused and disappointed as that went on, and they never bragged about the sales. They never mentioned it. It was never talked about. None of this. So Sony likes to make a big deal about it when there's they tell us Spider-Man sales in what a day. It's like 3.3 million or something. Look at that. Things like for that. So I feel like Death Stranding was not what Sony was looking for, and there are a lot of talks and rumors that it was pushed out there. It was like, we're not doing this anymore.
They looked for more. They expected more from the sales. It wasn't a home run. Basically, it wasn't a failure. It just wasn't the home run that they thought they were going to have. And there's still rumor out there that Sony and Kojima will be working on a future title. So it's not like their relationship is dead just because Kojima can have an Xbox title. And to my understanding is that the Xbox title is actually a project that Google and Kojima were working on. And now that Stadia is effectively dead, Microsoft may have swooped in and is footing the bill to continue development of that title.
That would have been interesting if Google came out and was like, "Yeah, Kojima's going to develop a game for Stadia." That would have confused a lot of people online the day they announced that one. But apparently this Phil Spencer out there with his background shelf on a live stream teasing this with the mascot for Kojima Productions in the background. It's also a Switch back there. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
It's interesting though to hear about Kojima maybe doing something with Xbox. If it is that Stadia project though, Nate, I do wonder how, what kind of budget they were working with on that one. Although Stadia was they were just throwing money around. They were like, how much does it cost? 30 million? All right, I guess.
Yeah, so it could have been a solidly funded project with a high budget. And I mean, if that is the project Microsoft has decided to pick up, they probably, depending on how much work was done, this could be a steal for them. This could be something similar to when Nintendo picked up Bayonetta 2. The project was virtually close to completion, so Nintendo only had to invest, still several $1 million. But this could be a really smart play for Microsoft if it does pan out and the deal is finalized.
Yeah, apparently, I guess they're still in talks with all of that. And I do wonder because you figure this would have been something Sony would have picked up.
Not after Death Stranding, right?
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, well, hold on. It's interesting that it's Microsoft that's talking about this. You feel like Sony been like, all right, let's see it. All right, cool. Here's the bill. Let's do it.
Well, we already see they're canceling Days Gone. So, maybe it's not heavy enough for them.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure so if you remember, way before Death Stranding came out, we had discussions here and I talked about it that behind the scenes, even right up to its release, Sony was very nervous about this game and was very ready to lose on it because it was more of a trust with Kojima. It's like, oh, he's going to make something crazy and out of this world. And he did, and it really wasn't what Sony was expecting, and Sony was prepared to take that loss. It's an easy write-off. Now, it still probably made some profit at the end of the day, but it was still not what they expected from it. And I don't think that they were right away eager enough to sign up for his next game, and I think that's probably what led him to say, well, I want to do this, and I'm going to move it on. I think Sony probably had a first-look deal, possibly, where it's like, okay, you have to bring it to us first. Mm-hmm. If we say yes or no, if we say yes, it's with us. If we say no, you can go anywhere else and pitch it. And that's probably what happened and where Google came out and
kind of wonder if Kojima wanted it published on PC as well, because apparently Death Stranding actually did okay on PC. Maybe like $27 million or something for them. That's like, yeah, that's good. That's great.
It looks great on PC. It runs great.
So I almost wonder if he's like, can we get this published? Because they had to get 505 games, right, to publish that one. Yes. So I'm sure Microsoft's like, we'll publish it for you on PC. That's fine. But why not? We'll put it on Game Pass PC too. Sure. Yeah. So for Kojima, people were confused. They're like, why is Kojima doing this with Xbox? Doesn't make any sense. It's like it's money.
It's money. He's an independent studio. He's looking for contract work. Whoever is going to offer him a good deal, if it's something that he wants to do, he's going to accept that offer. If it happens to be Microsoft, then it's Microsoft. It's Sony, it could be Nintendo. I mean, any company approach.
I feel like it's like Kojima is tied, in people's minds, to Sony, like Sakurai is tied to Nintendo, but I mean, technically down the road, that could happen for Sakurai for all we know is Sora Limited. He could be like, oh, I'm gonna go make a new game with
that would be a fun day.
Microsoft or PlayStation or something like that. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it would happen, but it just the way it's all structurally set up.
Right.
If Sakurai walked out at a Sony event, could you imagine the reaction?
Oh my God, people would foam at the mouth.
Would it be? I don't know how crazy it would be. I don't know how crazy it would be. People like Smash Brothers and all that, but I don't know how much even outside of the Nintendo sphere is on Smash Brothers. Heck, a lot of you guys don't even like Smash. Me and Click are the only ones who really actually like Smash Brothers. So even like Smash Brothers is like super popular, but I don't know. I'm not. People would be crazy about it, but I don't know how crazy they would be. I mean, that's all.
If on a Sony stage, Sakurai comes out and says, "Hey, I'm making PlayStation All Stars 2." How's that reaction?
It might be crazy, but remember Sakurai, it's Bandai Namco that makes.
Why would he want to go?
I'm not saying it would be a thing.
It would be crazy, but I think people would start thinking like, okay, wait a minute, how is this game actually going to be made? Like, it'd be hype and it'd be like, oh my God, Sakurai. But then wait a minute, hold up. What about like the game? Like, what about who's developing it? Because Bandai Namco legitimately does all the heavy pulling for
if I'm Sakurai, I'd be like, let me go do something that's not a fighting game anymore.
All right.
I'd take a few year vacation if I were.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you see that setup. You got 2 TVs set up with all these systems. I'm just gonna staycation.
But he honestly just has that, he likes to work mentality. I think if doesn't have something to do, he's probably bored and he wants to put it to use. So like, even though he should probably take a break after
he was walking around
the second.
Apparently he was walking around in Death Stranding too.
Yeah, he likes Death Stranding.
Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck about Kojima going to Xbox because Death Stranding sucked. And
Sean, are you trying to fight? Are you trying to fight?
What about the gameplay? What about the gameplay in Death Stranding was fun? What about gameplay in Death Stranding was fun?
We don't need to do this, Sean.
Fun is such a subjective term, though.
It is a very subjective term, and I'm trying to understand.
You're equally as much allowed to hate it as much as
Click
loves it.
Are you the one who plays like these rinky-dink wrestling games that literally look like Lego could have done a better job making them? Like, come on, man! I ain't attacking your taste. I've played them before at like McDonald's and been like snooze fest. Come on, man!
Wow!
Come on, dude.
I don't want to leave the.
It wasn't fun. It was an experience. Okay, I'll give you that. But it was an experience that I did not enjoy.
So what you eating, Sean? What you got there, man?
We got broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, and a light cheese sauce.
Well, you know what? That's an experience that I would not enjoy. So your broccoli, cauliflower, and cheese sucks.
Delicious.
Very healthy.
Very healthy. I don't. The whole problem with me with Death Stranding was.
Oh God, Sean, please.
No, it goes back to Kojima. Kojima did not have someone.
Shell and attacks you.
Kojima did not have someone to sit there and be like, that might be a little too much. Maybe you should reel that back a little bit. I think that Kojima needs someone like that because the dude is batshit crazy. But that's what made a lot of his great games work. Was that there was the batshit craziness, but the gameplay was still a lot of fun, and it was something that was easily accessible to everyone. Walking around balancing packages is not very accessible to a lot of people.
I think he needs to have someone in there. Let him with the crazy ideas go wild. That's how we get some of these, whether you like them or not, stories throughout all these years from him. But I think he needs someone to develop a gameplay, a certain thing that's structured completely like what everyone would want, and let him come up with the story. He wants to be in Hollywood. He's a story guy.
Exactly. So I see him more as games.
Right. Yeah. But I'm saying those I felt still had they had the restrictions. They said, okay, it still has to be this. And that's where he does need someone, I would say, or not like a babysitter or supervisor, but a team that can work with him if he's working with a company like Sony or with Microsoft or whoever to really rein in what the experience is on one end while he creates the story. He is a great idealist person. He can come up with a lot of great stuff.
Kojima and Sakurai team up. Kid Icarus would be crazy next year.
The thing of it is like the ideas are there, and I feel like Death Stranding with that same idea and mentality and story that Kojima wanted to tell. I think if he had someone to say, or a team of people to say, hey, maybe we do this with the gameplay to make it a little bit more, a little bit more
accessible to everyone.
More accessible, more like what people expect from a Kojima style of game. Because yes, he's done a bunch of different games out there. Zone of the Enders, Boat Kai, Metal Gear Solid. Those 3 games are very different from each other, but there's still that level of accessibility with those games. They still feel like a traditional experience with just a story that you really start to enjoy. And I don't think that's necessarily a knock against him, but it's definitely sort of changed my perspective on it, because I used to be a Kojima diehard during the grand years of the Metal Gear stuff, because I was like, holy shit, these stories are fucking amazing and the gameplay is fucking amazing, and when he makes his own game, it's gonna be fucking amazing. And then I played Death Stranding and I was like, holy shit, where is Konami with this game? Konami, please try and save it. I don't know.
Well, here's good news: is Kojima's lucky day, because I feel like Phil Spencer and Xbox are looking for the crazy stuff right now. So I'll be like,
one of those 35 billion studios you bought, and be like, look, okay, Kojima's going to lead this project. You're going to create the gameplay. He's going to write the story. You two are going to work together. License to print money.
Listen, I understand. I respect your opinion because you played the game and you have the input. I think my other problem though is the fact that people bandwagon nowadays without even trying things, and that's my thing.
Have you played Metal Gear series?
I only played a little bit. I never got to play it myself. But again, a lot of people say like, "Oh, you just are obsessed with Kojima. That's why you're speaking well of it." I never played one of his games before, so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect.
I'm same on that as well. So
play Metal Gear. What systems do you have?
No, we gotta wait for Metal Gear Solid. We gotta wait for Metal Gear Solid.
She already has the Resident Evil games and the Kirby games.
I have a lot of things I obviously need to catch up on. Okay, when I tell you I was a poor child, we didn't have power a lot of the time. Okay, video games were like not a priority.
We have Metal Gear Solid remake coming out, so we'll wait for that.
Waiting 3 more years.
Yeah.
I will say the GameCube right now.
I don't think.
No, don't play it on the GameCube. Play it on the PS4.
The Twin Snakes.
The game. I mean, if you really, I went back and played like half of it the other 2 weeks ago, and I realized one of the things that's the Metal Gear Solid 2 gameplay does not work in that environment.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
It breaks a lot, dude. You walk in the first level, you don't have to go through it. You just jump over the ledge and drop down, and you're in the elevator immediately.
That's fine. It's called speedrunning.
Speedrunning.
It's called
He's leveled up. Now
I do like the cutscenes. The cutscenes are just hilarious.
Cutscenes are awesome. I think that's the biggest issue, man. I don't want to get on the whole, obviously, I already said my piece, but I don't want to get on that. But like the problem is it's just a severe drop in quality and gameplay compared to Metal Gear. I think that's just the biggest issue I think Sean's having. It's just a severe drop. I mean, it's good. And I get why people like it, but the drop is massive.
Well, it's a preconceived notion because of a name. And I understand that. I can get that. Like I'm trying to imagine like if Sakurai came and created something after Smash and it was just not enjoyable whatsoever. I can understand that totally. But also at the same time, like if that's the video games in a way, especially if it's something that is going to be taking on the sold name as a brand, you have to think too, this is his work. He has a team that they're working on, but this is like the art he's trying to tell. I could say I agree with the art or I don't get the art, but at the same time, like that's the story he was trying to tell. And I think he told a very good story. The story of Death Stranding in itself is absolutely beautiful.
The story is great. The story is good. It's just like, but like, if you play the previous, like the gameplay.
Here's the thing.
Two totally different things though. You know what I mean? Like
I know the story's good though. Like I agree with you. The story.
It's kind of unfair that you hold it to that standard of something completely irrelevant. It's like apples and oranges. Just because it's sold by the same brand doesn't mean it's going to be the same kind of fruit.
But it's the same person creating the game.
But two totally different teams, two totally different atmospheres, like two totally different works of command.
Is much as listen, I get that there's the differences, and I get like we shouldn't be comparing art to art, right? But there is a big thing when it comes to the entertainment industry. It's you're only as good as your last effort. So, for example, like when a music album comes out, it could be the greatest album from this person that everyone loves it. But if their next project isn't the same level or better, they're only going to be known for that last one. They're gonna be like, oh, this album sucked. I'm not gonna check out the next one. And that's kind of the effects we see here with gaming. We see it with everything else as well in the entertainment industry. Well, we should not.
We just had I had a question. I hate where a person said, "Is Yuji Naka a talentless hack?" Once in 1996. No, Yuji Naka is an industry icon. Yes, Balan Wonderworld is a dreadful game. But he has some iconic, prestigious titles to his, to his degree, and we acknowledge the fantastic games that he did create over the course of his career.
Here's the thing, real quick though, Sean, I will say people do have that standard. Like when you hear about a platinum games like or Hideki Kamiya, you expect
something.
You
expect a certain level.
Kamiya, whether it's an Okami, which is a different style of game, or a Beautiful Joe, that gameplay aspect is supposed to be there. So I mean, I totally get what you guys are saying. Like I 100%. I watched all the way through. I think Death Stranding has a fantastic story and all that. I just think that's where some people the polarizing effect was just because the gameplay seems like a very
it was jarring. No, and I understand that. I'm not knocking that whatsoever, but to say the game sucks because of, I'm like, well, there's plus and minus.
Might be going a little far. Yeah. I did rag on the game, but I do think
I've talked a lot of good about Death Stranding, right? I've played it. I enjoyed it, right? The weakest part of the game is the game. The gameplay aspect of it is not something that I would like to see in a sequel. It's not something that I would like explored further on. But the journey it took me on, the experience I had, I still felt that it was worth my time and investment, and I got there. But so I understand completely where people don't like the game or don't want to continue with it. If it's not for them, you don't enjoy it. There's parts of the game, like I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, and it doesn't matter whose name was on the product. It could have been anyone who directed and created the game. I still got something out of it from the story. There were parts of the gameplay I liked when it got into some of the cooler boss-related situations, but a lot of it is walking and running away from things, and it's not fun to just sit and organize all the time, in my personal opinion. That's how I see fun. But
here's the thing:
it was worth it for me to get through it because of the story.
How the hell did we get on this topic?
I don't know.
It was my fault. I'm gonna end it with this, Clicks. Imagine the storytelling aspect of Death Stranding that you love so much, and how that story played out and whatever, all the characters and whatnot. Imagine that with awesome gameplay, and then you have Metal Gear Solid 3, the GOAT of the Metal Gear franchise, and it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your fucking mind.
I can understand that too, but like I found people are gonna hate me. I liked walking around and listening to Sam talk to himself or talk to the baby.
You can walk. It's called stealth in Metal Gear Solid 3, or you can go crazy. You can go crazy. You don't need to do stealth. You put your little camo on, you silence weaponry, take them out, get their resources, hide the body. Trust me.
The biggest problem with the game is that it didn't open itself up to enough of a wide player base to get into it by doing something like restricting what the gameplay is.
But I think it's because I don't really want to talk about this anymore, but I think we're just used to being
moving on. Then we're talking about
character. You're used to being a character that can do it all. You can strangle people. You can hide the bot. Like we're used to like being superhuman, and that game you're not.
Isn't superhuman.
You're walking.
I thought he was designed to be superhuman.
And I'm not saying special about you is the fact that you can come back to life, like you're a repatriate. They explain that, yes, but you are still human. Like every upgrade is like an upgrade that you or I would need if we were in that universe. And I think that's the big difference. It's not Michael Bay, and people wanted Michael Bay.
And I'm not saying it needs to be that. I'm just explaining why it is that. Like it could be whatever it wants. That's at the end of the day.
I just want to see the next thing Kojima has like in his mind. I just want to see what's the next thing that comes out of it for a game.
Boogers and tentacles.
I would just have to see him write and direct something. If it has to be a game, so be it. Like I hope others, involved, or unless he has a crazy idea that's completely off the walls, and I'll see that too. But I would like to see him in the film industry. I would like to see what his story writing can do, because I think he has something there. I think he's working with enough people. He can do something unique in different genres. He likes to play around with genres. So
since we're about to talk about E3, does Microsoft have this locked up and they show us a little cinematic trailer or teaser? Kojima Xbox. You think
nothing of gameplay? I think they just say, if it's true, I think they just say we're working on a game now in development with him, and maybe
on stage.
It may be like a project something, like nothing. It's too early. I don't think we're going to see anything.
Just to show it, just to be like, yep, Kojima's working with us for this next project.
They're definitely going to show something. I feel like for the past 2 weeks on Twitch, every time I watch anything, every ad that pops up is Xbox partnered with Bethesda. That's literally all the ads I'm seeing right now.
Imagine getting ads.
I like to support the people I watch as opposed to go, do this to you and just be like, fuck you, I don't care about you.
Please don't use ad block when you watch RGT videos.
No, I will definitely do
I
that.
pay for premium.
I pick and
Would
choose,
too, man.
goddamn
That's
it.
the funny thing. He's not joking. His ass would do.
Get premium.
Premium,
That's what I
exactly.
have. I have premium.
Yeah, I love premium.
He's going live with Genshin and ad blocking Sean right now.
We have